All right, welcome to Witchpolice Radio. One of the things that I think is kind of cool about this show, and the fact that I've been doing it for a million years, is that I often get bands coming back on, or members of bands coming back on, multiple times over the years. Sometimes with a long gap in between. And I think this is one of those episodes. The last time I had Mulligrub on was, I think it was 2016 or 17. It seems like it was maybe even longer ago than that. And obviously, things have changed with your band. You have a new record. We have all kinds of stuff to talk about, but I'm very happy to have you back on. It's kind of one of those bands that um, I didn't realize until quite recently that you were actively playing shows and doing things. It seems like there'd been kind of a drop off, and I don't know if that was because of the pandemic or who knows what. We can get into all of that, but I think the best way to start this off is if the three of you want to introduce yourselves and what you do in the band, just so listeners can put a name to the voice. So whoever feels like going first, jump right in. Crickets.
I'll go. I can go. I'm
Sure.
Riley. I play drums and I sing sometimes. And I have also recorded and mixed both of our albums. And yeah, I think Mulligrub started with me and Kelly when Kelly moved to Winnipeg. What is it, 12 years ago or something? It's a while ago. So we just were like, let's, because Kelly was doing acoustic music at the time, and they were like, I want to rock out. So I started, they started learning to like putting songs that they'd written on acoustic guitar or like ukulele or different things to guitar songs, and then I was playing drums, and that was how
Cool.
it started.
Well, maybe Kelly, that's a good way for you to a segue for you to introduce yourself.
Yeah, hello. Uh, sorry, I was looking for a background. Didn't pick one in advance. But yeah, I'm Kelly and I play guitar and sing. And Mulligrub has kind of been my like main output for my songwriting for like 10 years, I guess, which is a pretty long time.
It is.
But yeah, we did take a bit of a break in the pandemic because like we for a while like we couldn't practice, like it wasn't really safe to practice, and now I guess like it's still kind of going, but like for a while we couldn't practice. And also I guess Morella left the band kind of like right before the pandemic started without really us really realizing.
Okay.
Like yeah, it was like the end of 2019, like like after, so like after the summer, and then the pandemic started happening, I guess, in March 2020. So it had just been like me and Riley were like, oh, we don't really know what to do now because we had this album recorded and we didn't know what to do with it. So we just kind of took some time off as well. And I think that was like the fall and the winter, and then the pandemic started just right at the beginning of 2020. So it was pretty, that was kind of the reason that there was such a long break, is that we sort of waited until we waited almost, I guess, 2 years
Yeah.
at least to start playing again. Yeah.
And then so you had that extended break just from the lineup changing, obviously, and then the pandemic. And then when did you come back? I mean, now you have a new bassist, and maybe if you want to introduce yourself, I mean, you're kind of the known quantity for the show. As we were talking before we started recording here, I mean, you've been on this is your fourth time now talking about different projects. But yeah, go ahead. Who are you and what do you do?
Yeah, that's my first time here. Thanks. Always good to be back. I'm Natalie. I play bass and I also sometimes sing. And I think actually Riley and I were talking about this. We played a show just on the weekend, and or however long ago it is for all you listeners out there. But yeah, I think I joined about a year ago, so like July, maybe June. I don't remember exactly, but it was summertime. We just started playing together, and yeah, it was great for me. I got to listen to the record early, which is just really great because it's a great record, and I can say that because I didn't play on it. So
Yeah,
I'm,
yeah.
I'm unbiased.
Well, what I guess for the other two of you, what is that like bringing in a new person when you have this thing already recorded? I mean, not only had the band been around for a long time, prior to the break, but you have this record that's finished with a member who's no longer in the band, and you have to basically bring in a new person. I mean, obviously someone who has had a lot of experience playing music in the city, but I mean, what was it like introducing someone new to the whole project when you had this record that was ready to come out?
It was fairly easy. I mean, we're not playing the weird thing with the album was that Morella sings on half the songs about. So obviously we're not playing the songs that are Morella's songs.
Sure.
Um so so yeah, it's just like we're still playing songs from the first record that we still like playing, and then the rest of our set is the songs that Kelly sings from the new record, Tragical. And then we have like a couple songs that we started working on over the pandemic. So, I mean, yeah, Natalie just kind of picked up the parts that Morella was playing, and then they kind of added their own thing to them. It was fairly, I mean, we kind of waited. That's also part of the thing that took us a while, is we were like, who would we get to play bass? And then with Natalie, it was just like, this just kind of feels like an obvious fit. So we'd waited enough time and thought about it, and then it was easy once the time came. It just kind of made sense. That's what I would say.
With these I was going to say new songs, but they're old songs on the record. Do they feel old to you? I mean, I know you're basically introducing them to a new audience now. People haven't heard them; they're just starting to hear them since it came out I guess, a month or two ago. You're playing them live now, and they're new to people then. But do you feel like the band has moved beyond those, or is doing something different, or are you still fully in the mode of the songs from that record?
Mm. I'm definitely excited to write new songs. Like I like the songs that we have, and I'm like proud of them. I think they sound good, but we have been playing the same ones for quite a while, so I'm excited to write some songs with Natalie.
Yeah,
I really like writing as a group, so that's going to be really nice. And once we have some time to do that.
yeah, that makes sense for sure. Well, Natalie, what was your sort of experience with hearing Mulligrub before joining the band? Like, obviously you'd heard them before, and you probably had an opinion on the on the music.
Yeah.
But was this
I
a
mean,
band you were like a big fan of prior to joining?
I mean, obviously, I think when their first record came out, they were pretty well talked about in the media. So, yeah, I think I remember seeing like the Canadian Classic video and being like, "This is pretty cool," and listened to them a little bit. But it was when I think we played a show together when I was in Silence Kit still, and then that's when I was like, "Whoa, this band rules!" They were so good live, and yeah, they were just really great. And then I started paying attention to them, and then Kelly's old friends with my wife, and we're on the We Rock Winnipeg board together, and
Cool.
so then I got to know Kelly a little bit more, and I got to know Riley a bit in the last few years, and we were just kind of talking, and I said, is anything happening with Mulligrub? And Kelly's like, well, we don't really have a bassist, and I'd be like, well, if you're interested, I'd really love playing bass with you guys. So yeah, it's been a lot of fun. It's obviously quite different, and like even playing a different instrument's been kind of fun. Well, not kind of. It's been really fun, and yeah, I've just really enjoyed working with Riley and Kelly, and we've played a lot of really good shows, and we've already done some pretty cool little festivals and stuff like that. And it's been really great. It's been a lot of fun, and yeah, I'm really looking forward to writing some material with the two of them.
Cool. Well, like we were talking about earlier. I mean, like you said, just sort of in this last little bit here, about there was a lot of buzz around Mulligrub, sort of at the I guess at the peak of the band's sort of notoriety in Winnipeg and beyond. Now that you're playing shows again, and like you said, you're playing some festivals and things like that, who is the audience? Has the audience changed? Like, is it still people who are maybe remember you from before and have followed along with you since the enforced break that everyone had, or is it, are you reaching new people? Like, what's a Mulligrub audience look like?
I've actually noticed some like teenagers, which is kind of cool.
Yeah, that
Like,
is cool.
yeah, so like we played at the night market the other day and there was like teenagers wearing a Soft Grudge t-shirt. And I was like, oh, and then I saw them like come and they were gonna say like, oh, good, like say hi or something. And then I think they got shy. And then the next time they passed me, they were like, great show. So I was like, oh, it's like me be like a little me. Because I remember going to shows and like really wanting to go tell the band that I like them, but
Yeah.
feeling really shy. And then sometimes I would like get the courage to go do it. So I thought that was really like I was like, oh, that's like me as a kid. It was kind of nice.
Yeah, that's
Uh,
awesome. But that's nice validation to get too, right? That it's people who are, yeah, teenagers who are like absorbing all the music in the world probably are finding your band and liking it enough to talk to you and wear the shirt and come to the show and everything. That's really cool.
Yeah, I
yeah.
have noticed like it is definitely some of the same people, but then also there's new folks who I don't recognize. I guess just who because we did play a lot for a while, we toured quite a bit, and then we took a break. So it's like in that time,
Yeah.
people have kept listening to us, which is nice.
Mhm.
Well, and I guess I mean, especially not to dwell on the teenager thing, but a lot of your songs are very personal, and they're obviously dealing with there's a lot of emotion being talked about in the songs and being very very kind of hard on your sleeve sort of lyrics and things like that. I mean, that's the type of thing that is going to appeal to someone who's I mean I have a teenage daughter. I know what kind of music that yeah, I've become aware of what kind of music the kids are into, and I mean like that is a key part of it. I think is having that kind of relatability, and I think that makes sense that there would be younger people getting into what you're doing because of the sort of openness um, in what the songs are talking about. Is that something that you do on purpose as songwriters, or is it just sort of how it comes out?
Mhm. I think I'm just like an eternal teenager. Like uh you know, some which is sometimes good and sometimes bad. But it's I don't really like intentionally writing to appeal to teenagers, but
Of
also
course,
like
yeah,
the songs on like the first album that came out in 2016, like I wrote like maybe half of them when I was a teenager, so it makes sense that teenagers like them. And like sometimes I am like, whoa, this song is like so intense. But also I think it's kind of nice to like I'm proud of my younger self for like writing a song about how I felt, and other people
yeah.
seem to like it too sometimes. So I know lots of people feel kind of like embarrassed about their music they made when they were younger, but I'm kind of like I'm okay with it being what it is. And I still like playing some of the songs, so yeah.
Cool. Well, and I certainly don't mean to imply that teenagers are the only ones who appreciate that kind of songwriting, but there is something to be said for kind of personal, very very personal, almost yeah, I guess personal is the word. I don't have a better word right now, but you know what I mean. So what's sort of the plan going forward? Because it seems like since you have this record that's come out relatively recently, you have a lineup that's solidified now. You've been playing a lot of shows. What's the next steps for Mulligrub at this point? I mean, like you said, you want to work on new songs with the current trio, but as far as shows and things like that, do you have tours planned, or what's going on?
Well, we're playing Bands as Bands right before Halloween,
Okay,
uh, October 26th,
28th, I think.
28th.
Yeah.
And we're going to be doing Elliott Smith.
oh,
So
interesting. Okay.
yeah, and I believe, according to the posts that I saw from the Real Love folks, that it's like pretty much the 10th anniversary of Bands as Bands. So I think it's going to be really special.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So
Yeah,
We're
so that's pretty cool.
And we're also gonna have Veronica Blackhawk from Tinge joining us as well for that,
oh,
to do
cool.
some like harmonies, and maybe like yeah, I don't know if I can learn like a 45 minutes of Elliott Smith all like on guitar. I in like 2 months, probably not. So Natalie's gonna do some and Veronica will do some.
Yeah, it's going to be a real guitar by committee show.
Yeah,
Is
Riley can play guitar too. Maybe we'll have four
that's
guitars.
true.
I don't know.
Well, I can play everything.
Is Elliott Smith someone that you all sort of agree on as an influence, or as someone that you listen to, or is this just one member's sort of Elliott Smith fandom coming through here?
I've always liked Elliott Smith, but Kelly, I feel like Kelly's the one who I've never been like a super fan, but I always liked them. So
In preparation, I've been listening to more of it, and I think I knew a lot more of it than I thought I did. I've never been like a massive fan, but I've always really enjoyed the music, and I obviously know the story of Elliott Smith,
Yeah.
which is super foundational. And like, I'm a big fan of like Rilo Kiley, who was kind of in that set, and I think one of the last shows he ever played was with them. So I'm very familiar of like I guess the mythos and like the legend that he is. So it's really cool. It's really cool, and I'm excited to learn. I mean, I love playing different styles of music, and I've been listening to a lot more kind of folky stuff, and I know like he kind of gets a lot from that. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
Cool.
I think.
Well, then I guess. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say beyond, like obviously that's gonna be our focus for the next little while because it's quite a bit of work to learn a set of another artist material and like adapt arrangements and stuff.
Yeah.
And I think we kind of are all looking forward to like working on new songs in the summer, or the other one, the opposite of the summer,
The cold one.
because that's the time to hunker down and write songs. So I think we're all looking forward to that, and
We should do a retreat.
Writing retreat
or something. But we don't have any plans for touring and stuff right now. But I think it's unlikely we would do it the way we were doing it before, but probably some kind of touring, or
Okay.
playing shows.
Mhm.
Try and do some more festivals next summer for sure.
Yeah, probably like we'd be more selective because like I feel like I've sat on my butt in a car for many hours of my life, and
You don't need to do that. Yeah.
it's so expensive, everything's so expensive, but like it feels like especially now, and there's so many amazing music festivals, and a lot of them are able to actually pay pretty well, and sometimes even just going to a festival can in itself at least maybe open up the doors for a few more shows. And we played the Real Love Summerfest, which was just up in Toulon this summer, and I talked to a lot of musicians and other bands, and it seems like that's kind of what most bands are doing now. Is I would ask, hey, are you doing any touring? And they're like, no, we're kind of more doing like the festivals thing. So it seems like that's kind of a thing. And the good thing about festivals is there's lots of grant money being thrown at them. So I mean, if that's a way to make money for bands, and it's also a good way to meet other bands and break into new audiences as well.
For sure. Well, and I have maybe a two-part question, and one part of the question is horrible, so I apologize in advance. But first of all, I mean, do you feel that what you do is good at festivals? I mean, like, are festivals a good venue for the type of music you're playing? And then the bad part of the question is, how do you currently define the type of music you play? And I know everyone hates answering that, and I apologize because I hate asking it, but I mean, what do you call it at this point? I mean, it's obviously changed over the years and shifted, and you have a new lineup now and everything. Do you have an easy Cole's Notes way to describe what the sound is?
somebody called it tweemo recently, and I was like,
That is great.
yeah, tweemo, I
I
guess.
think that might be it.
Yeah.
There's a little jangle. There's a little emo. There's a little pop punk. There's a little.
Yeah.
We're not very serious anymore, I don't think. Like we're still very sad, but
There's other things we're
It's like fun sad now, right?
yeah, like I don't know. And also, like, I'm not sad all the time. Like I write songs when I'm feeling sad because I need like an outlet. And I guess like I don't know, it's just what happens, and like I don't try to, when I feel happy, like I don't want to like write a song.
Sure. That makes sense. Yeah, no, that totally makes sense. So, and then the other part of the question about festivals: do you think a festival is a good venue for what you do? Like, do you because the festival is so diverse now, right? I mean, style wise, you can get. I mean, even the folk fest is not folk anymore. There's everything, and so I mean, do you think that festivals are a good sort of way to introduce what you're doing to potentially new audiences?
I think so. I mean, I think it's we're not like a closing out the Saturday night party kind of band, but we're like, and you know, it felt like our stuff was well received.
We've been playing out like in the afternoon at things, and I feel like I'm like, yeah, I like this, and also like I don't have to stay up as late, which is cool.
Yeah, that's a bonus. Yeah, for sure.
Oh,
I can't. I like the three of us were at the Marin release show the other night, and like I had like one beer, and I was just like all of Sunday. I was just, and it's just because I was up so late. Like getting old is like sucks.
Yeah, it's weird. Yeah. It's definitely strange.
I
So,
know.
go ahead. Sorry.
Go on. No, it's fine.
You sure?
I'm sure.
Okay. I don't want to miss out on anything important, right? So so I was gonna say, if people are hearing you for the first time, or they're hearing you for the first time in a while, what's the best way at this point to check out the record and find out what you're up to online?
Like Bandcamp or Spotify and Instagram, and we also I joined TikTok.
Exciting.
And we're at Mulligrub Music on all the socials.
And then this current record, is it just available digitally, or are there physical copies as well?
So we're ordering physical copies very soon. That's my fault. I've been meaning to do it. Sometimes I'm not a great business person.
Well, no worries. I mean, I'm like 5 years late ordering the first tape anyway, so
yeah, people have been like ordering the old tape since we started playing again, so I feel like we should put up the new one.
Yeah. But you can hear it now anyway, right? And until then, people can listen to it on Bandcamp and the various streaming services.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome.